going down, fuck the word, I'm a thug. Tell him, can't nothing stop me but a slug.
But to move into the MMA stuff, because this has happened in the last like couple hours here, I think the UFC might hate Neil Magny, ladies and gentlemen. Carlos Condit's coming back, and he's taking on Neil Magny in his return fight. Sure, Carlos has been gone for a while, but Magny has been getting his ass handed to him over and over again now. Fred, on this fight, good return fight for Condit?
Perfect return fight for Condit, actually, man. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen Condit, and I mean, yeah, I think general consensus is going to be, like you said, somebody hates Neil Magny. But listen, man, as much as I dislike Neil Magny, and believe me, I'm not a huge Neil Magny fan, for no really good reason either. I just be hating on that fool, but I'd be wanting to see him lose. He's tough, man, and Carlos needs a fight like this. I don't really want to see Carlos come back and fight Robbie Lawler immediately or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather see him get a winnable fight, a tough fight, but a winnable fight to kind of get his feet wet again. He hasn't fought in a long time. I think this is a winnable fight for Carlos, but be a good fight to kind of getting back in the swing of things. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I kind of think this is the perfect fight for him coming back, low key, honestly.
Yeah, what are you thinking there, Jesse?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I mean, normally I would not really, be okay with such a tough fight on the way back. But I mean, Neil Magny, to me, he's kind of on the downside of his career, right? I mean, his win in his last 3 fights was against Johnny Hendricks, a fat guy that can't make weight and can't really decide what he wants to be, right? Now Johnny Hendricks is moving down to Albuquerque to go hang out with John Jones and do some blow probably. So, but I mean, besides that, Neil Magny's taking a loss to Lorenz Larkin and Rafael Dos Anjos. So, I mean, you're right. I think this is the perfect fight, and it's kind of a good fight to kind of measure where Neil Magny is at this point. I mean, are we going to keep pushing Magny out there? Because, I mean, you look at some of the fights that he's had and some of the victories that he's had, and he's a good fighter. But I think that time has passed, man. His Eric Silva, Kelvin Gastelum, Hector Lombard fights, that little stretch was an amazing stretch. But then, he's just been so inconsistent as of late. I just don't know what we're going to do with him. Is he going to eventually be a #1 contender? Is he going to be a top 5? Is he just going to be a gatekeeper for the rest of his career? Is he just going to move on to Bellator?
Who, Neil Magny?
There's a lot of questions that are flying. Yeah, Neil Magny.
Oh, #1 contender, boy, bye. Let's say that's boat sail for him.
That's the thing. I asked Neil Magny if he's ever going to be a #1 contender, and I'm sure he's going to tell you, yeah, definitely. Well, but this is a fight that's going to prove whether it's true that he might become a #1 contender or if he's just going to have to move along.
Okay. True.
Yeah, well, my microphone muted itself. All right, another fight that got announced recently, and it actually is at 145 for the title. Max Holloway against Frankie Edgar in Detroit, UFC 218. Look, it's a solid matchup, man, but a lot of people are actually kind of giving Frankie Edgar the nod on this one. I don't agree. I think it's going to be a really tough fight. I think Frankie Edgar is going to bring a fucking hell of a fight. But I like Max Holloway in that fight, man. Fred, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I kind of well, first off, let me take a minute to just stick it to all the little cocksmokers out there that are always complaining about how bad the UFC is these days.
Yeah.
I know it is a bit of a circus, and Conor kind of gets to do what he wants these days. But God damn it, you got to give credit where credit's due. This is a great fight, and it's the fight that should happen. It's the fight that everybody wants to see. It was the only fight that should have actually taken place at 45, and they fucking made it happen. It kind of feels like an old school UFC matchmaking type fight. You know what I mean? Like the legit #1 contender fighting the champion. So kudos to the UFC for actually, getting it right and getting the timing right, perfect time and everything for this fight. That being said, yeah, man, I think that there's really no reason to assume that Max will lose. Mm-hmm. I mean, Frankie has only really been shown up by Jose Aldo, and Max just threw him a beating. I know MMA math is fucking, doesn't work at all. That being said, I can't see a reason to just assume Frankie will win this fight. I don't think Frankie's going to win the striking exchanges for sure. Max doesn't have a tendency to get tired or gas out, so it becomes a question of grappling. Now, can Frankie take Max Holloway down? Probably. Will he get a takedown in this fight? More than likely.
Yeah.
Question is, can he keep him down there? I don't think so. Max is big for the division. He's a talented kid. He's got those fucking long limbs. He doesn't need to submit Frankie. He just needs to get the fuck off the ground. Can he do that consistently? I do think he can. I don't think that Frankie's big enough to hold him down for 25 minutes. And I mean, Max is a tough motherfucker, man. I mean, he was low-key getting lit up in the first couple rounds of that Jose Aldo fight. And he just took it and waited and poured it on at the end. I got to go with Max in this fight too, man. Like, obviously, you know, you never fucking want to overlook Frankie Edgar, but
yeah,
you know, I'm going with the champ, Jack.
Yeah, look, former champion, you got to give Frankie Edgar his due, and the fact that he's going to come in with mad experience and everything at that level. Real quick, before we get to Jesse, Gundes says, "Can we talk about Fred's hair, please?" in capital letters. And then I think my favorite comment about that, Joey Tremendous, what's up, Joey? Says Fred's hair looks like he fell asleep at a rich house party with his shoes on. Like the
That's so hilarious. I didn't even get it.
Yeah.
Is that a white girl thing or something?
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe because they're rich, they're like, oh, let's make them the ghetto. I don't know.
Believe me, rich girls can't do this, baby boy. You got to go to the hood to get these.
Yeah, yeah, I can vouch for that.
Intricate.
All right, and then Gunda says, "I'm one of those cocksmokers bitching about it. If I didn't complain, my Twitter would just be dog videos." That's fucking great.
That's a fact.
Yeah. All right, Jesse. With Frankie Edgar coming in, look, obviously he's a wrestler at heart, right? It's gonna. I have a hard time seeing that. Frankie Edgar being able to stand with Max Holloway. He's gonna want to get that fight to the ground. Do you think Max Holloway's takedown defense is gonna be good enough to basically deny Frankie Edgar's seemingly only dominant weapon?
I don't know, man. This again to me is kind of like a trick fight, right? Because we know that Frankie Edgar is a beast with his wrestling and everything, but we've also seen him get neutralized by Jose Aldo, right? Like that Jose Aldo fight really showed us that Frankie Edgar isn't the bee's knees at wrestling. You know, he can be, you know, thrown out of his game plan, and he can look normal, right? He can't look like just a regular fighter. But then you put him against someone like Cub Swanson, and then he looks like. So I don't know. I think this is the perfect fight to really cement Max Holloway's legacy here at this division, and really put the stamp on the 145 division that, to me, still is kind of trying to get itself back together after the whole Conor thing, where Conor came through, you know, took the title and basically ran. And, you know, like whoever was going to be the champ after that, you know, Jose Aldo didn't feel like he was the right champ. And now with Max Holloway, you know, getting that title and now finally defending it, I think, against the guy that we all wanted Conor McGregor to fight. I think if he's able to win in impressive fashion, I think this solidifies him as the best 145er. And, you know, I think that Conor McGregor talk goes away.
Yeah, I think Conor came out and gave Max Holloway props and said, hey, if he wants to move up to 55, we can have that fight. We got that rematch. That'd be an interesting win if Holloway, let's say Holloway beats Frankie Edgar. I wouldn't be surprised if he said, hey, I want to go for that, the two belts again, you know, like McGregor style, right? Be the two division champion. I'm sure he'll say something about that if he wins.
Motherfuckers love it to be a soldier. Must maintain